NCC, but for the Beerhausen, I figured this could be their full force. Fernandez, Coloso, and Mike Bilbao, along with Isguera and Relosa. Well, on the other hand, for the Nationals, as I said, their usual five is Ituri, Brill, then Valenciano, Reyes, and Moore.
The NCC has gained initial possession of the letter. Ituri puts up a 7-footer, and it's a trifle short. We're 18 seconds into the game, and Tim Coloso telling his teammates, okay, let's play this nice and easy. We're going to settle down to our usual half-court offense. Ituri Isguera fielded a good pass, but the shot wasn't equally good. Elmer Reyes controlled the defensive board that time, and here's Louis Brill confronted by Mike Bilbao. Good cut inside by Elmer Reyes. He bangs it in, and he's guilty of an offensive foul, so the shot is nullified.
Yeah, that was a foul called on Elmer Reyes. He really somehow shoved his defense so he could get a clear shot. The referee caught him, so there's a foul, this first foul.
And there's still two big fat eggs across the names of the two clubs in the scoreboard. And while Beerhausen is settling down to its deliberate pattern, I would like to give you the names of the referees who have the thankless task of calling the fouls, the errors, and the violations in this play. That first foul, by the way, was called on Ituri. And the referees are Messrs. Heriberto Cruz, Robert Gamat, and Ronnie Bisade. Dr. King Cruz is, of course, a veteran, and the two others are sophomores who have acquitted themselves very well in the games that they've officiated.
A good help-out defense coming from Jeff Moore. He tried to intercept the ball, but there was a stepping violation called on him.
And so it's going to be a turnover for the Nationals. Ituri will have to inbound from the baseline. That's where the ball left the floor. Louis Brill wearing number 12 on his back, and quickly Ituri dashes down court to take his position at low post. We've got a contact whistle addressed to Team Coloso.
Well, Jeff Moore had already established position for that pick. Team Coloso came running in. There's a foul called on him.
Crowd of about 23,000 on hand for tonight's very crucial matches. Valenciano looking for a cutter, and the Beerhausen defense is falling beautifully into place. Get away by Jeff Moore. There's really very little you can do to shackle this guy. He can escape from just about anything.
Well, Jeff Moore realized that Relosa was sticking to him like glue, saw the opening.
Juan Fernandez draws a triple coverage. Look at that. A triple coverage was thrown on Juan Fernandez, but Mike Bilbao couldn't see daylight at all for that cut. And in the process, they lost it, and NCC banged in another 2 points of their own to give them a 4-0 lead.
Nice give-and-go play coming from Jeff Moore and Elmer Reyes, with Jeff Moore on a dunk.
Orchestrating the offensive for Beerhausen. Team Coloso. Relosa putting up a 10-footer. He's probably one of the most reliable support men for Juan Fernandez in the Beerhausen club.
He has really improved his shot, Joe, especially if you notice that the time that he was still playing for the Toyota team, he really was not that accurate.
Somewhat of a key conversion by Ludovico Valenciano. I've just been told that his nickname is Naning Valenciano, so that should simplify matters for us. He's probably got the longest name of any player in this league, Ludovico Valenciano. Now we can just call him Naning Valenciano. And Louis Brill picks up the garbage, and he goes scooting down court with a leather. Brill gets away from Mike Bilbao. Good tap out by Mike Bilbao.
The tap out coming from Mike, so the Nationals skip possession. They'll have to take it on the baseline. That's where the ball came rolling in. So there's a setup play being executed now by the Nationals.
Tonight is actually a baptism of fire for the Beerhausen mentor, Bonnie Carbonell. Likewise for Dr. Ramsey J. Howe, the manager of the team, who has put together one splendid group from a ragtag army, which came his way after the disbandment of the Toyota Club, and also he picked up some remnants from the Tanduay squad. We've got a foul.
One thing the Beerhausen team should realize is Jeff Moore really goes for that second effort. So the moment he takes that shot, whoever is taking him should draw him away from that basket.
Team Coloso misses from 7. Frontal assault on the basket. The Nationals up by 4. Good steal by Mike Bilbao. Juan Fernandez looks behind him. He rams right into Jeff Moore. And that's an illegal block called on Jeff Moore. Beerhausen fans held their breath for a while there. And let's take a look at that last piece of action again in slow-mo.
As early as now, Joe, the bench of the Nationals are being warned.
That's right. Here's Ricky Relosa. He fakes, pumps, and makes it. Loose ball foul called on. Let's see who. Team Coloso. Well, that last basket put Beer Hausen to within 2 points of Northern Consolidated 6-4. We're 3.5 minutes into the game. Louis Brill, quarterbacking for the Nationals. They lost Hector Calma several weeks ago. And we've got Dr. Ting Cruz.
There's another foul called on Team Coloso. Those are the 3 consecutive fouls called on him, Joy. You'll notice, and most of them are, coming from a pick. He'll try to bang himself on a pick. He should try to get away from that screen that's being given by the Nationals.
And a sufficiently alarmed Bonnie Carbonell immediately relieves Team Coloso. He's much too valuable to lose on 6 fouls this early in the game. And so we have got Bert De La Rosa filling in his shoes. Louis Brill works it over to Jeff Moore, who's going to challenge the phalanx of Beer Hausen defenders. And that defense worked beautifully.
That was a tap coming from Mike Bilbao as Jeff Moore tried to concentrate on a basket.
Beer Hausen down by just 2. They can go for the equalizer here. Ito Isguera, in and out. A heartbreaker there for Ito Isguera. And again, the Nationals are running the break, for which they have become extremely famous. Ituri, deft moves off Mon Fernandez, but he fails to get his bucket. Mon, with a very agile cut-like movement, saving the ball from going off the floor.
Valenciano tried to go for that rebound play, but Mon was there to retrieve it and gave a good pass to Isguera. Now, there's a 3-second violation called on Isguera.
Error upon error on both ends of the floor, and that score has been frozen at 6-4. This is shaping up to be one of the lowest first quarters we've seen in a long, long time. Louis Brill settling down to a very slow pattern and working off a pick set up for him by Jeff Moore. That was a pick and roll, but it didn't work.
Good cover coming from Ricky Relosa.
De La Rosa, number 7 on his back. His barrel chest, he stands only about 5'11". Ed Cordero sinks it on a very leisurely shot from 18.
Somebody like Cordero, this is the kind of a guy that they need very badly. I'm talking for the Beer Hausen team. They should have somebody from the wing that can score.
Valenciano gets it over to Jeff Moore at low post, and again he runs right into that umbrella-like defense applied on him by Ricky Relosa and Mon Fernandez. They're putting all their efforts into shackling Jeff Moore. Good pick set up by Ed Cordero for Ricky Relosa. And Dr. Ting Cruz blows his whistle from the baseline. Ituri is called for a loose ball foul, his second personal.
That's experience for you. Mon Fernandez saw that Ituri was really going to try to box him away from the basket, did a little acting of himself. He did get the award for that.
It was too late for the Manila Film Academy Awards night. Okay, Mon Fernandez at point. Valenciano works it over to... Here is Dignatice, and again, that double team forced them into an error.
Dignatice took steps as 2 other guys tried to swarm on him.
Beer Hausen protecting a 2-point lead, and they certainly bled to get that lead, and they certainly will try to protect it. Cordero takes it off Elmer Reyes.
Cordero shooting very well, 2 for 2. He doesn't even have to put the ball down anymore. As soon as he receives it, he lets go.
Well, the Beer Hausen fans are hoping that the law of averages are going to catch up, or is going to catch up with the Northern Consolidated Nationals. After all, they've beaten Beer Hausen in all their past 3 beatings in the present conference. Mon Fernandez. Dignatice has the unenviable task of trying to watch Mon Fernandez, but Ricky Relosa fails. Mon Fernandez keeps it alive. Dignatice went to the floor, and Ricky Relosa scores.
That's a big basket. The ball came from one player to the other till finally Ricky Relosa had to take the jumper right away, because there could have been a 3-second violation called on Mon Fernandez.
6-point lead for Beer Hausen, and Mr. Bisabe blows his own whistle this time. Mike Bilbao. Only his first personal tonight. We've got a timeout. We shall return. There was straight under 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. After a very sluggish start, the Beer Hausen seem to have settled to cruising speed, and they're up by 6, and the Nationals just can't seem to get their baskets from the outside. They have been going to the outside because the Beer Hausens definitely have their defensive patterns all worked out, and they are following the pattern to the letter. Oh, that was an air ball thrown up by Ed Cordero. And here is Grills kicking down court. Let's watch Dignatice as he goes up against Ed Cordero, who bellied up on him. picking up his first foul.
You can call that a good block, you know, except for a little body shove, but that definitely was a good block coming from Ricky Relosa. Knowing the high-leaping Jeff Moore, he went challenging him in the air.
And Ron Jacobs certainly doesn't miss an opportunity that comes his way. He took advantage of this penalty situation to give instructions to Ludovico Valenciano. And Jeff Moore just cut down the the Beerhausen lead to 5, make that a 4-point lead for Beerhausen. 5 minutes and 5 seconds left, first quarter. Maybe it's the first act of a great drama, suspenseful drama. Juan Fernandez draws a double coverage and sinks it. He completely defied that double coverage by the simple ploy of slipping in the unwatched area.
Well, one thing is sure, in basic basketball, never give in a baseline advantage what they did with Mon, you know. The Nationals did not gain any help-out defense.
That's right. They watch him from all angles except the baseline, which is the most logical. And that's it. Another loose ball foul spotted on the play. Ed Cordero with his second personal. And that's the 17th foul for Beerhausen. A clutch of substitutions being thrown in by Ron Jacobs. Machine Gun England.
Right. Ron Jacobs sensing trouble. Joe Sensin is almost full force now with Pumaren, then Machine Gun England, along with Chong Chico.
Jeff Moore working off Ricky Relosa. Oh, Relosa can't take on Jeff Moore on a one-on-one basis. That's for certain.
How true, Joe. Now the Beerhausen team should realize that what they were doing earlier was just perfect. They should try to double on Jeff Moore every time he has that ball.
Hook shot by Mon Fernandez. No good this time. And Dignatizi boxed him out of the rebound that time. The Beerhausens, down by only 4, can come to within a goal. And here's Chip England. He still has to score. With Chico, his shot deflected by De La Rosa, and the ball goes off the floor. But the Beerhausens, rather the NCCs, will keep it.
Well, Mon Fernandez did not see that there was a tap coming from Bert De La Rosa, because if he knew that there was a tap prior to that, he should have tried to save that ball.
Right. He simply allowed the ball to go off the floor, thinking that they would regain automatic possession. And here's Chip England from the corner. The ball rimming out, and look at that terrific struggle. The game is getting very physical off that board.
That's a really extra effort coming from Jeff Moore. He was way out there. He still tried to go for that rebound, even not knowing that the ball could have bounced on him. And luckily it did. Now he'll go to the line because the Beerhausen team is on penalty.
And the single chink in the armor of Mon Fernandez is once again displaying itself. In many of their crucial games, Mon Fernandez came into foul trouble very early in the game. He just picked up his first foul. Let's see if he can stay away from subsequent fouls. Moore with 10 points across his name just put Northern to within a basket of Beerhausen with 3 minutes and 46 left in the first quarter. The NCC still have 2 fouls to spare. Beerhausen hit the limit a minute ago, and that's Mon Fernandez drawing a foul at point-blank range.
That could have been a slam if Mon converted, but it was an in and out, so he'll have to go to the line for 2.
Come and visit Doña Nena's restaurant for your Spanish and continental cuisine. Doña Nena's, conveniently located along Anza Street, corner Makati Avenue. 3:38 left, the first quarter. The score 15 for Beerhausen, 12 for Northern. That was Fernandez's 5th point, and Mike Bilbao is relieved by Abed Gutierrez.
Well, so for the backcourt man of the Beerhausen team, we have Albert Gutierrez and Bert De La Rosa with Mon Fernandez in the slot. He's got a power forward, Ricky Relosa, and the outside shooter is Cordero. It's a good bunker.
A banker coming from Jeff Moore for his 12th marker of the evening, and once again, it's a 2-point game. Beerhausen tenaciously hanging on to a 2-point lead. They need a basket here to retain control of the lead. Juan Fernandez draws a swarming defense. Gutierrez goes up against Jeff Moore. Unintimidated by Jeff Moore, he got it off the glass.
Now it's the other way around, Joe. What the Nationals are doing is they're triple teaming on Mon Fernandez. That was a lob coming from Franz Pumaren, and that's a good pass. But on top of that, Jeff Moore can go to the line with a foul coming from
Ricky Relosa. Oh, it was Gutierrez, actually.
Gutierrez.
The guy he figured in a mid-air collision with was Ricky Relosa, but it was Gutierrez's foul, which sent Jeff Moore on what looked like a rather bad fall. But then this guy is tough as nails, and we've got a timeout. We'll be right back to witness tonight's big, crucial games. And this live telecast is between Hausen and Northern Consolidated. There's no tomorrow for either team. The team that loses automatically says goodbye to the first conference of the PBA. 18-17 is the count. Time left 2 minutes and 59. Bert De La Rosa quarterbacking now for the Hausens after Michael Baugh was relieved earlier by Bonnie Carbonell. Gutierrez gets it right back to Bert De La Rosa, and he committed a traveling error.
Bert De La Rosa was semi-challenged by Jeff Moore. He took steps trying to go for that shot.
And immediately Ron Jacobs grabs the opportunity to field another replacement. This time he recalls Jeff Moore to the bench for a brief respite. In his place, we've got Alfie Mario. But that was Ibis Dignatiza delivering another 2 points. So for the first time tonight, well, actually, they led very early in the game. But now they have regained the lead at 19-18. 2 minutes and 28 to go. A good steal by Chip Englund, like taking candy away from a baby. Let's see if it consummate. He does. He's given continuation. Plus a foul.
Full consummation, Joe. That's what you call it. Now he can go to the line for a bonus shot.
Chip Englund is on the line. Well, with that first burst of gunfire from him, he's going to be another top contender for our Magnolia Chocolate Best Player of the Game. That's a 4-point lead right there for the NCCs, who have taken over command anew after losing the lead very early in the game. 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the quarter. Bert De La Rosa, top of the key, works it over to my favorite player, the enforcer, Vic Sanchez, who's shown beautifully for Northern in their rousing game against Gilbys only 2 nights ago.
Nice jumper coming from Bert De La Rosa. Prior to that, he did make his jumper, but there was a walking violation this time. He had himself at 2 points.
The NCCs are not scoring that well with their outside shots. They blew a golden opportunity there, but Hausen didn't. Abed Gutierrez tying the count at 22 all.
John Chico tried to go for a swipe. It didn't pay off. Abed took the shot.
Low post play about to be executed by Dignazidi, but aborted by a foul coming from the enforcer.
Foul,
that's his first personal, and I'm sure not the last.
Well, Dignatiza knows that the Hausen team is on penalty, so he took advantage of a one-on-one situation. Vic Sanchez, your favorite player, Joe, was staying too close to him.
Well, Hausen hit the team foul limit many minutes ago, but right now, Northern is itself courting team foul trouble. They're only 1 foul shy of the limit. 1 minute and 32 seconds to go. Dignatiza is splitting his charities. Alfie Mario keeping it alive, but losing it after a monkey wrench was thrown at him by Vic Sanchez. Bert De La Rosa controls, puts it up, in.
This guy is a perimeter shooter. They better watch out. It seems that nobody's playing him on its defense.
That's right. They're taking him too lightly. Well, that should teach them a lesson. It's 24-23. Hausen back in the lead. It's a 1-point game in our hands. Time down to 1 minute and 6 seconds in the first quarter. Chip Englund moves a little back, but Gutierrez is not about to give him any elbow room whatsoever. Alfie Mario dancing in for the dazzling layup.
Good ball movement coming from the Nationals. Watch this. Seldom they do this as a pass break, but it's not consummated because the pass wasn't too good for Vic to hold on to the ball.
There was a sudden shift in the strategy of the Hausens. Normally they go on a half-court offense, but I'm sure they figured that Vic Sanchez was just the right kind of a guy who can really sprint and field the kind of baseball pass. In that particular case, he didn't, and we've got the contact whistle blowing from Ronnie Besabi.
And that would be Dignatiza. He overplayed himself, you know. That was too obvious a foul.
Northern Consolidated up by 1, 25-24. Whether they will stay that way for a long time remains to be seen. There's your answer. Ricky Velosa blew a 15-footer, and the Nationals are running the break again. Anchored this time on John Chico.
John Chico challenging Ricky Velosa for that shot.
27-24. Only 19 seconds left in the first quarter. The Hausens need a basket here to make the second chapter very, very interesting indeed. De La Rosa with a bounce pass to Vic Sanchez. He scored 10 points for Hausen in their last game. And De La Rosa comes through with another 17-footer.
I told you, Joe, this guy is a perimeter shooter.
Franz Pumarin trying to beat the clock. Threw up a desperation shot, but I don't see why De La Rosa had to try and stop him. He was very close to midcourt. Now, the first quarter is not officially over because Hausen, being in penalty trouble, committed a foul, and Pumarin is taking the 2 free throws resulting from that foul. 28-26. make that 28-26, and we'll be back right after this timeout. We're 12 seconds into the second quarter. 28-26 is the count. Bungled opportunity there by the Beer Hausen. Here's Jung Wichiko. He dishes up a great assist to Yves Signatisi.
Nice play. It was a sunny give and go coming from Wichiko with Signatisi on the receiving end.
The enforcer making good on that offensive thrust of the Beer Hausen Brewmasters. And they're down by just 2 points. Franz Pumarin found Jung Wichiko, who normally has a hot arm from the outside, but this time he was a trifle short. Bert De La Rosa, he's been playing a great game tonight, not only as a quarterback, but also as a great offensive man. And look at referee Bisabe once again blew his whistle. This time it was addressed to Abed Gutierrez. And this dead ball situation is allowing Nick Bulaong to replace Ed Cordero, who has been a little listless since he showed up on the floor for Beer Hausen. Alfiel Mario inbounding from the left sideline. And Franz Pumarin, number 5 on his back. He now is the regular playmaker for the NCCs, with a permanent sidelining of Hector Solon, at least for the rest of this conference. And that was Machine Gun Englund. He couldn't find his range from outside, and he's getting his shots on a higher percentage basis. And now he's going for Grand Slam 3.
Right you are, Joe. Chip England knows that they got him numbered on the outside, had a clear lane. Why not? He took it off. Plus on top of that, he's going to go for a bonus shot.
That score, 32 for Northern, 30 for Beer Hausen. Chip England has got 5 points so far. Make that 6, and a 3-point lead for the Nationals. 33-30, a minute and 10 seconds into the second quarter. Team fouls. Northern Consolidated still has an immaculate slate. Beer Hausen already picked up 2. Bert De La Rosa. Abed Gutierrez swinging the ball to the right side. And here is Vic Sanchez. Okay, fellas, spread up. Make room for me. Well, nobody would dare stop that guy when he goes on that kind of a barreling drive, unless, of course, you want to be smoothed out into a tin plate. Scramble for possession. Northern Consolidated wins out. Chip England found himself in no man's land, passed up to the wrong man, and the result is a foul by NCC.
A good play coming from Albert Kidaban. Actually, he started off that play when Tumaran took an outside shot. He bothered Tumaran. He came back well for that rebound and got it.
And the Brewmasters are once again in a position to regain the lead. De La Rosa working the ball close to the right side. He goes up, and he's going to have to get his 2 points the hard way. A foul by Jung Wichiko. Oh, Pumarin.
Yes, knowing Bert De La Rosa and knowing that Pumarin is shorter than he is, then Bert will really play him one-on-one. This guy is good on the perimeter shot plus a one-on-one situation.
You should know, Freddie Webb, he was under your wing for a number of years, wasn't he?
He was, Joe, and really, you've got to give him respect for his shots.
Certainly, that kind of foul shooting demands a lot of respect. 34-33, Beer Hausen back in the driver's seat. Alfiel Mario, top of the key, and the Beer Hausen defense is once again falling beautifully into place. A very constricting cordon erected around the lane by the Beer Hausen. Chip England was guilty of plumbing the ball. A turnover. The Beer Hausen's displaying the kind of defense that they never showed in the elimination round.
Yes, somebody tried to help out while Chip was trying to dribble the ball. He had a palming violation called on him.
9:40 left before the
beautiful play.
Oh, Gutierrez couldn't cash in on that beautiful assist. And he wants to bang his head against the wall. Wichiko bangs it in from top of the key.
Well, Chico saw that open lane. It was a 12-foot jumper. He took it with accuracy.
35-34. Northern Consolidated back with the upper hand with 9 minutes and 19 left before halftime. That was an ill-calculated shot taken by Nick Bulaong. An attempted pass inside to Jung Wichiko did not materialize. A tap out.
Yes, that was a save for the Beer Hausen team. The only guy under the basket was Gutierrez.
And Albert Gutierrez has just been replaced by Team Coloso. Team Coloso is burdened with 3 fouls, but Monte Carbonell is gambling that he won't pick up any more.
Very simple play coming from the Nationals with Chip England on the conversion.
8 points now for Machine Gun England, and that's a 3-point lead once again for NCC. 8 minutes 55 to go. 2 team fouls apiece. Bert De La Rosa, they're working the ball around the perimeter. The pass intended for Mon Fernandez, tapped out by Alti Almario. Notice how Mon Fernandez has not really been laying his hands on that ball very often. His support men are the ones delivering for Beerhausen tonight. Eh, Freddie?
I was just going to say that, you know, he's being overplayed, plus everybody on the national team is so aware that every time they have the ball, they have to triple on him. That's a good example. Watch 3 men going there, but Gulaong takes a shot.
And it was way offline. That's the second big boo-boo committed by Nick Gulaong from outside. So it's a 3-point lead for Northern Consolidated. It could be sweeter, and it just might be after this hacking foul spotted by Nick Gulaong, or rather by referee Robert Gamad on Nick Gulaong. And Gulaong is promptly replaced by Bonnie Carbonell. In his place, we've got the high-leaping Paul Herrera. Tomarin has it for NCC. Chip England, well, left open momentarily, and you don't give him any breathing room whatsoever. That's all he needed.
That was a miscommunication between the Beerhausen team. Both of them tried to go covering one man, leaving Chip England for an outside shot.
39-34, 5-point advantage here for Northern, and Juan Fernandez throws up one of his few pressure shots tonight, and he missed it. But he keeps it alive. Spots Bert De La Rosa open. He fakes, drives in. Too wide off the glass. Paul Herrera gets the offensive rebound. No fouls called on that particular sequence. Tomarin is going to take on Coloso one-on-one. No, he doesn't. Chip England blows it at point-blank range, but Tomarin keeps it alive for NCC.
Heavy play being displayed here by Tomarin. Not only is he aggressive on the boards, but again, he's much aggressive trying to defend and help out on Mon Fernandez. There's a foul. On top of that, on Vic Sanchez, Jeff Moore converting.
Earlier than that, Jong with Chico showed us that he was a bit gun-shy after missing some of his outside shots. He was perfectly open, but he allowed Jeff Moore to take the shot instead. It was a good decision. In the meantime, we've got a timeout. We shall return. Jeff Moore fails to come through with his grand slam, but that 7-point lead for NCC right now is the biggest lead by either club so far in this game. And the Beerhausens are on the offensive. Coloso gets it over to Mon Fernandez. The instant double coverage is on Mon. He spots Paul Herrera, and he goes in for the easy glass shot. First basket tonight for Paul Herrera. 41-36 is the count. Northern lead down to 5. Time left, 7:22 before halftime. Quick turnaround by Jeff Moore, and this guy, they'll have to find an antidote for him because he's been smothering them from point-blank range right from the start of this game. Here's Mon Fernandez. He hasn't been delivering too much. Rilosa keeps it alive. The fadeaway is likewise in vain. Mon Fernandez boxing everybody out of the rebound and getting a foul from possibly Iturri. No, it was Herrera.
As everybody was trying to grab that ball, Herrera commits a foul. Anyway, Bonnie Carbonell noticing that he is in trouble, sends, by the way, Michael Bao back into the game, the take charge of the charge guy of the Beerhausen team. Watch that play.
Again, Jeff Moore with an escape act has been running rings around the defenders thrown on him by Bonnie Carbonell. 45-36. Biggest advantage so far for Northern, a 9-point lead with 6 minutes and 40 to go, and Beerhausen is courting team foul trouble here. They're just too shy of the limit. Juan Fernandez puts up another unproductive shot. The follow-up by Team Coloso draws a foul. He'll go to the line. And this time it was really Ituri's foul, his third personal. And Ituri is replaced by Ron Jacobs. In his place, we've got the resurgent Ives Dignadise, one of the latecomers to the NCC squad, fresh from the stint in, was it Seoul, Korea? Yes, it was, where the Philippines played in the Asian Youth Championships. Immediately upon the return, Ives Dignadise, along with a few others, were immediately taken in by NCC into its fold. Moore shakes up Paul Herrera.
Well, now Jeff Moore is having a fiesta trying to take on Paul Herrera. That's why they should again try to double team on Jeff Moore.
They ought to. He's already got 23 points across his name, Freddie Webb. Corner shot by Paul Herrera. He's been delivering on the offensives of Beerhausen. That's 4 points already.
Yeah, surprisingly, Paul Herrera took that outside shot. He's not really well known for it. Now watch this. They're going back to the big man.
All right, that time Jeff Moore took steps. Paul Herrera was sufficiently able to distract him that time, resulting in this turnover for the Beerhausens. They're down by 7 points. Certainly, they're not out of the contest. This issue has not been decided by a long shot, and Mon Fernandez trips over the foot of Yves Dignadice with a foul resulting on the play. Yves Dignadice with his third personal. And that is the 14th foul for Northern Consolidated. And Ron Jacobs is restlessly shuffling his men.
Yes, he's not taking any chances. You know, so far, Yves Dignadice has got 3 along with the other big man, Ituri. So now he's placing Almario to take on Mon Fernandez. I think Mon will have an easier time this time around.
All right, Mon Fernandez is going to have a lark. What with Almario giving away a good 3 inches to him in height. And, of course, a lot of years in experience. And we've got a foul spotted on that counter-offensive launched by Jeff Moore. Fernandez just collected his second personal.
Well, even though Mon Fernandez is the guy that fouled, I think that was a good foul because Moore really had an open lane.
5:33 left before the 11th-time break. England versus Velosa. England is also going to town with his straightaways.
Nice move coming from Chip England.
49-42, another 7-point advantage for the amateurs. Here's Ricky Relosa with Mon Fernandez's guns practically silent. Relosa has been coming across for Beerhausen. That's his 8th point tonight. 49-44. Chip England in the 3-point region. He can take it from there. Air ball. Good distraction there by Ricky Relosa. Team Coloso met by Franz Pumarin, and Pumarin certainly exploited that mismatch with Pumarin.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, it would have not been advisable to have taken that shot. He could have pulled out and wait for his teammates. But again, you know, I was mistaken.
Well, maybe his gut feel told him to take the shot. 49-46, 3-point game. Alfie Almario cups out of the side of Mon Fernandez. Now England tries to drive past Fernandez. Almario can't see an opening, and he's forced into a traveling error.
That's a beautiful defense set up by the Beerhausen team. You know, they went to every man that had the ball. They had him covered till finally there was a violation.
That's what you call perpetual motion defense. 49-46, and Beerhausen is within striking distance. Alley-oop pass intended for Ricky Relosa did not materialize. Jeff Moore was right in the path, and he certainly could reach out for that ball. Chip England left momentarily open again by Paul Herrera. 14 points now for Chip.
Well, that was an ill-advised pass coming from Mike Bilbao. I know how sorry he really was. You know, he did not realize that it was Jeff Moore who was under the basket to get that recovery. That's a good shot coming from Ricky Relosa, fronting Jeff Moore.
Ricky Relosa is taking it on the face of Jeff Moore time and again. He's not only going for those baskets, he's also going for those fouls. Jeff Moore, good steal into an error again. Yes, good steal by Beerhausen. Team Coloso goes up. Yes, sir, off the glass.
That was a steal coming from Mike Bilbao. So Team Coloso open. It came from Mon Fernandez.
And don't look now, Freddie Webb, but we've got a 1-point game in our hands. 51-50. This is shaping up to be an extremely high-scoring game with a good 3 minutes and a half left in this second quarter. The scores have already gone past the 50 mark. Alfie Almario, power play.
Alfie was a little hesitant. You see, Mon Fernandez was there, you know, even, oh, that was a close one, Mike. That could have been a backing violation.
All right, nice work if you can get away with it. And he did get away with it. Ricky Relosa bangs into Jeff Moore.
Not that time, Joe.
Ricky Relosa with his second personal, and he stomped his feet on the floor.
Well, and referee Team Cruz tells him to hush down a little bit. Boy, I can call a foul on you anytime. I can call a T on you.
Ron Jacobs, easily one of the most colorful attractions of the Northern Consolidated club. Chip England tried to jockey for a better position in the process. He lost control of the ball and took steps, and it's going to be a turnover for Beerhausen, but not before this timeout. We'll be back. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. The Beerhausen's launching offensive and losing it to the baseline on a fumble by Ricky Relosa. That was a bungled opportunity there for the Beerhausens to regain the lead. They're down by just 1, and now the NCCs can have another breathing room if they can cash in on this offensive. Jeff Moore, look at that pirouette. Short. Mike Bilbao going high up for that rebound, and he goes streaking down court. The Beerhausens are shocking the NCC's no end with their attempted pass breaks, but this time it didn't work. Chip England again for a steal, and he's going to go all the way to the bucket. He put it up haphazardly, intimidated by the sight of Ricky Relosa, but there was a foul on the play.
Yeah, look how innocent Mike looks at that referee. You know, really, I figured that he was just going to go for the ball. You know, it was just an advantage in positioning, but the referee calls a foul on Mike. That could hurt because they are on the penalty now.
That's true. And the designated hitter here is Franz Pumarin, wearing number 5.
You know, the problem with the Beerhausen team, Joe, if I may say, is they have actually first 4 guys, meaning I'm talking of Mon Fernandez, I'm talking of Team Coloso, then Mike Bilbao and Relosa. The 5th man is always disputed between 4 other guys. This is Herrera, Sanchez, Cordero, and Bulaong.
Well, they're down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the first half. Here's Mon Fernandez. Is going to try to challenge Alfie Almario 1-1. And we've got a foul by Alfie. His second personal.
Even as Mon Fernandez got a foul from Alfie, you could see that there were 3 other guys helping out on defense.
Well, Northern Consolidated is fast catching up on its team fouls. They've already got 5 with 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the first half. Mon Fernandez goes all the way, totally defying Jeff Moore, who really soared high to try and stop him.
Jeff Moore really thorough under that basket, especially on defense. You can see how much he tried to help out and stop Mon Fernandez, but to no avail.
And Northern's lead is down again to a solitary point. Chip England top of the key. Almario, crisp passing here by the NCCs. That's one of their biggest strengths, actually, their ability to pass that ball around so swiftly it almost defies following by normal vision. Unproductive pass by NCC. Here's Mon Fernandez. He spots Paul Herrera.
Oh, beautiful move coming from Paul Herrera. It was a hard pass to reach out to, but he was able to get that 2 for him.
And I didn't think he could make it, finding himself so deep underneath against an umbrella defense put up by the NCCs. England on their side of the floor measures at point-blank range. Good save by Team Coloso. Went to the wrong man. Elmer Reyes keeps it alive. Alfie Almario, rather undecided at this point. The NCCs seem to be playing scattered ball right now, with Chip England finally breaking that long silence.
They went to the right guy. Earlier, Almario could have taken the shot. Pumarin could have taken it, but Jeff gave the ball to the right guy, Jeff Moore.
Actually, that was Chip, and it's...
I'm sorry, Joe. It was Chip England, right.
Well, 55-54 is the count. Oh, good assist by Mike Bilbao to Vic Sanchez. He blew it. Maybe Bilbao should have taken a shot himself. And here's
through
Elmer Reyes getting it over to Chip England, and there was no way Team Coloso could have won in that kind of a situation.
That's a pity. You know, you had a clear lane to convert. You could have gotten ahead better, but right now they're down by 3 points.
And Mike Bilbao is telling his teammates to cool it, fellas. We still can make it. We're down by only 3.
Going to play the clock, Joe. They only have 9 seconds to go, and I'm sure the Nationals are going to try to go for a foul, which they did not. They should have given a foul. They only had 5 fouls. Ron Jacobs didn't like it, see?
A timely basket there by Mon Fernandez. And the Nationals wasted so much time, they couldn't get anything going with the time remaining. So, it's just a 1-point lead. Bilbao made up high by Franz Pumarin. Team Coloso lingering close to the 3-point area. That's a 2-point shot, which he blew. And Jeff Moore once again positioning himself well for the defensive rebound. Franz Pumarin streaking down court. Here's Elmer Reyes. A good tap from behind by Mike Bilbao. Saved by Pumarin. Here's Valenciano going back to Pumarin. He's open. Relosa suffered the lapse in defense there.
Gotta give it to the Nationals. They move the basketball well. You know, they don't really force a shot. They try to look for that open man.
A 4-point cluster here put together by NCC to give them a 5-point lead. And Mike Bilbao once again acting the playmaker's role for the Brewmasters. Winner of this match can get an automatic final berth if Gilbey's loses to Crispy in the delayed telecast of the game that you will see later.
That's a 4th foul called on Ituri, so the Ron Jacobs doesn't take any time. He replaces Ituri. Back on the ball game is Almario.
That's a loss of about 2.5 inches for NCC, and so Almario is forced to front Mon Fernandez.
Oh, nice play.
Nice play anchored on Mike Bilbao, who comes through with a reverse layup. 63-60, the NCC lead down again to 3 points. Here's Jeff Moore. He backed off into Ricky Relosa, finds Valenciano slightly open, and Valenciano wound up with a very embarrassing air ball, and the ball falling right to the hands of Team Coloso. Decoy play there by Team Coloso, trying to break a sound barrier and suddenly applying the brakes. Mon Fernandez swinging over to the left, throws up a lateral shot. He got his bucket plus a foul to boot.
When Team Colosso brought that basketball, how much people love that running game.
I wonder what kind of brake fluid this guy uses. Juan Fernandez going for his slam. He misses, and Jeff Moore controls the defensive board once again. It's a one-point game in our hands. Franz Pumarin has it. Elmer Ray is waiting for Jeff Moore to come down. Now he takes matters into his own hands. Misses on that layup. Jeff Moore right there for the follow-up. With a foul again, this time from Team Colosso. Relosa.
Yeah, that's a foul on Relosa, Joe. Actually, you can see that Jeff Moore really is an all-around player. You can see his hustle. He bulldozes his way to the second shot, and not only that, he's got a very good penetrating shot and actually a perimeter shooter at that.
Moore gets his grand slam. Mike Bilbao, he's worked up a pretty good sweat, and he's working for a change against a guy who's shorter than he is. That's Franz Pumarin. And now Pumarin joins Alfie Almario in a double team on Juan Fernandez, who sags out, looks for a cutter. He can't find any, gives it to Mike Bilbao.
They almost got caught with the 25-second shot clock. They only had 3 left. Juan Fernandez took a timely hit.
And here's Franz Pumarin. Oh, what was that pass all about? It went straight to his coach. Ron Jacobs. And the Brewmasters. When in doubt, go to your coach, huh? Here's Juan Fernandez. He goes up against Pumarin offline, and Jeff Moore again boxing everybody out of the defensive rebound. He gets it right back from Pumarin. That guy is doing practically everything for the
Franz Pumarin. Nobody was on top of him. Got it in the shaded area for a conversion again.
30 points now for Jeff Moore. With the time remaining, as well as the fourth quarter still to be played, he just might outdo himself tonight. Gets it over to Juan Fernandez. He's open.
That's a beautiful pass coming from Mike Bilbao.
It's a foul away from the ball. There was a bit of jostling there between, and here's Franz Pumarin.
Yes, he tried to give a pick to, it was a blind pick actually. The referee saw it because referee Tim Cruz was under the situation. He was under the basket. He saw the whole thing happen.
Once again, Beerhausen looking for the equalizer. With the Beerhausen coaching staff giving him a lot more exposure than what he got when he was playing for Toyota. 68 all.
Yeah, Mike Bilbao is going to pull up.
Juan Fernandez working the ball to the left side at low post. He draws Jeff Moore to his side. Comes to the situation. That was Ed Cordero picking up the garbage. They're in the front court.
A good hustling coming from Mike Bilbao.
You bet. Mike Bilbao, the little guy. What a guy. 72-68, a 4-point advantage for Beerhausen.
It's hot when Mike Bilbao goes to business. They better watch out.
And the Beerhausens are looking for a much more impressive lead. Juan Fernandez with a great pass to Ricky Relosa. He banks it in off the glass. Relosa and Fernandez give each other the high five. Almario goes to Elmer Reyes. His guns, too, have been silenced. They've got a blocking foul called on Team Colosso, his fourth personal.
He's going to send in, I'm sure, Gutierrez for Team Colosso to rest temporarily.
You know, I can see that he's struck an open lane and certainly cashed in on it. The guy who has been the most cerebral figure on the floor for the Beerhausens. He keeps telling them to cool down. Let's get our act back together again, fellas. Cordero with a good turnaround.
Now everybody's going to the scoring parade. Now it's Ed Cordero's turn.
81-72, back to a 9-point lead for Beerhausen. The Brewmasters are certainly playing inspired ball up to this juncture. That was a careless shot taken by Chip England. There's a baseball pitch. Cordero's going to go for the bucket. He finds the iron.
That's a seldom play which the Beerhausens use, and so far they've become successful at it.
Could it be that the law of averages is finally catching up on NCC? They've beaten Beerhausen in all their past 3 meetings. Okay, that was a pass which was marked by a foul coming from Ricky Relosa, his fourth personal. The Beerhausens are going to watch them out. And we've got a timeout called by Ron Jacobs. He needs this very badly. We'll be right back. Some 33 seconds in the third period. NCC can't seem to buy a basket at this juncture. Franz Pumarin misses an 18-footer, and Jeff Moore hustles for the rebound. Despite this 9-point lead being enjoyed by the Beerhausens, they would be well advised not to take the victory for granted, because as witness the game they played against Crispa, they were down by 7 points in the last minute of that game. They even almost forced the game into overtime.
It's a semi-four shot coming from Juan Fernandez, but the ball fell to Ed Cordero for a possible 3-point play.
11-point lead for the Beerhausens, 85-74. Ed Cordero These are the guys who were considered unlikely to come up with the heroics for Hausen tonight, but they are the guys really delivering, and he just completed his grand slam.
Northern Consolidated on 16 foul, while Hausen is on 4.
So at this point, it would appear like all the odds are stacked up against the NCCs, but then, let's not forget, there's still a good minute and 42 seconds in the third quarter, and a full 12 minutes in the final stretch, and that was the third foul called on Bert De La Rosa. Yes, Albert Gutierrez certainly has not been giving England much breathing room, and he joins in a triple team on Jeff Moore, resulting in a foul.
Foul, Gutierrez.
Gutierrez himself acknowledges the foul, his third personal of the game. Sending Jeff Moore to the line for a pair of charities. Now they're dead even as far as team fouls are concerned, 6 apiece. And Jeff Moore, the guy who was almost single-handedly keeping the Fires alive for NCC in this game, has just pocketed his 33rd marker for the game.
You're right, Joe. They're going to the big man now, Jeff Moore, because Chip England seems to be handcuffed right now.
Juan Fernandez goes to work. 7 minutes and 29 seconds left in this ball game. The momentum is definitely on the side of Hausen, and the players are certainly riding the crest of it. Team Coloso has it. Juan Fernandez comes out to him. All right, they're setting up this play again. Ricky Relosa goes into position. Fernandez takes, stumps, and gets it.
Juan Fernandez, knowing that Dignadice has got 5 fouls, taking it up to the hoop.
103-88, 15-point margin for Hausen, 7 minutes and 6 seconds. Chip England, they haven't gotten many points from him lately. He's been effectively handcuffed by the Hausen Sentinels, which have been alternating on him right from the start of this quarter, holding him down to only 26 points so far.
So the defense put up by Team Coloso and Chip England, making it hard for Chip to convert.
Exactly, and that's why they can't afford to see Coloso bow out of the game on 6 fouls. Here's Juan Fernandez. Beautiful pass to Team Coloso.
Did you see that, Joe? They had only 1 second on the time clock, and they were still able to make the shot.
The Hausens are playing intelligent basketball like Albert Einstein himself worked it out for them. We've got a foul on the NCC side of the floor. Mike Bilbao picking up his 3rd personal. Nothing to be alarmed about. That's unusually low for Mike Bilbao at this point of the game.
Yes, Joe. Usually he ends up getting fouled out.
Right. 105-88, 17-point deficit for NCC. Take by Dignadice, and he finally gets it on a semi-hook off El Presidente. Sayo na yan, sabi ni Mon Fernandez. 105-90. 14 fouls for Hausen, 2 for NCC. We're midstream in the final quarter. NCC will have to get something going. And they'll have to steal some balls still, because the Hausens are only too aware of the value of the clock working for them.
5 seconds, 4 seconds on the time clock, or the shot clock.
This time, Juan Fernandez couldn't deliver the goods, and here's Franz Pumarin zigzagging on the court, giving it to Chip England. The 3-point shot is on the way, short. Ives Dignadice. Oh, Mike Bilbao again at the right place at the right time. And Juan Fernandez, looking a bit winded, says, okay, hold it, fellas. I'm a little tired. Let's work this one out very carefully. So that's double trouble for Ron Jacobs. Good feed by Herrera to Team Coloso. He takes advantage of it. Bingo!
It's another situation, Joe. There was only 1 second of the shot clock going for them.
Oh, these Hausens are showing themselves masters of the cliffhanger shot. It's Dignadice.
And a foul.
That's the 6th and last foul of Yves Dignadice, making him the first casualty on 6 fouls in this game. No, it's Alfiel Mario, Freddie.
Yes, it's also a good move for Ron Jacobs to put in Almario, because Almario is more of a shooter. Secondly, what he needs is more of hustle than going for the boards. So he's exchanging the boards for somebody that will give him more power on the conversions.
I don't know. I've always felt he truly was one of the most underrated players in that NCC squad. But then I'm sure Ron Jacobs knows what he's doing, and Alfiel Mario now has the task of trying to watch Juan Fernandez, who's got a good pick from Mike Bilbao. Misses the frontal assault on the basket. Jeff Moore holds down the rebound, and the NCCs are running the break again. This is beautifully executed, anchored on Alfie.
Well, with Alfie and Chip England filling the lanes beautifully.
You know, this can be a very agonizing ordeal for the NCCs. The way the Hausens are playing this slow break game. Their half-court offense. Anchored on the last second shot.
That could be a 6th foul.
Almario too bows out. So Ron Jacobs has lost two of his big men, leaving him only with Ituri, and I'm sure he'll pull Ituri out of the bench this time. It's Ituri, all right. Who else will he go to? We've got another timeout. We shall return. 4 minutes and 9 seconds left in this game, and with that kind of time remaining, Freddie Webb, I guess, NCC, if they want to mount a rally, if they want to ignite a comeback, they'll have to do it right now.
The only way to do it, Joe, is when they try to press the Beerhausen team, hoping that Beerhausen will make mistakes, do some traveling errors, do bad passes in the return play, try to get an outlet pass going. So it's a control of the boards, a lot of hassle.
Of a last stage stand being staged by the beleaguered amateurs here. And that buzzer in the background formalizes the victory of Beerhausen.